And a good morning and welcome. It's Martin, Jeff, and the Farmchick coming to you high atop the Eagle Building in beautiful downtown Goodland. Our show is being brought to you by Eklund's First Insurance, Northwest Tech, Elliott's Home Furnishings, The Insurance Agency, and Goodland Sonic Drive-In. On my left, it's the Farmchick.
Good morning, Martin. See, I improved from last week. I know.
On my right, Jeff, the unshaven.
I can't be quite that cheery. But
yeah, it's kind of been dreary here the past couple of days.
Very nice on Monday. Dreary today.
I know.
Yeah.
It affects my mood.
Yeah.
I don't mind cold, but I like when the sun's out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I don't like gray overcast days.
Gray overcast days. Unless it's pouring rain, then we'll take it.
Had to postpone the basketball games last night, but probably for good reason. It was in St. Francis, and I stepped out of my car and just about fell down.
On
Yeah.
Keister.
You know that.
Do they have brick streets in Sandy? Not there. No, that's
I get
cement, don't they? Downtown
so.
is cement.
This was on a sidewalk.
Those roads get icy, and you just don't even know it. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
We had to postpone going down to Hugoton earlier in the year because of icy roads. You just don't want to take that chance with kids and buses.
Oh, no.
So I understand that. So.
In fact, if I'd have known it was going to be icy when I stepped out of that car, I wouldn't have gone.
You wouldn't have stepped out of the car.
I don't travel in bad weather.
Right.
I just won't do it.
Not gonna
Even if
do it.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
I do it all the time. I don't know.
Well, you do. You're a farmer.
Oh,
In fact, I may have seen you out there tending to your corn bags.
Mm-hmm. Grain bags.
Grain bags.
Yeah. We're unloading some bags up on some corn bags from this year's harvest, so that's quite a process.
What do they call those things? Corn bags?
Grain bags.
Grain bags?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. They hold about, I don't know, between 10 to 15,000 bushels, depending on how well you load them up. So
I thought maybe they were vertical plastic grain bins.
well, they are. That's exactly what
Vertical, horizontal.
It's
you mean?
horizontal.
Horizontal.
I was
Yeah.
going to
I
say.
got
vertical
You're talking about different ones
I
than
got
I
it
am.
backwards. I got to always get it backwards.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you think people think you're talking about bags, and I think they're going to put 200 bushels in a bag or something like that. But no, these are the big tubes.
Wow.
Sealed all up.
Kind of a little process. Yeah, they're kind of hermetically sealed. So whatever moisture or whatever condition you put the corn in is what it comes out at. It can't rot unless it gets a hole in it. Or
Do you have one of these giant seal-a-meal things that seal it?
they make one. We don't have one. We just use 2x4s and screws. But they do make a seal-a-meal type of deal.
Right. I
Yeah.
used to do that a lot with my garden stuff.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, see, you learn
Kinda-
something every day. I drive past those things all the time, and I didn't know what they were about.
Yeah, they've been around for quite a while, but really became popular around here in the last couple of years. So it's a good way to speed up harvest. You can store everything right there in the field and just not have to truck anything right at the time and be done. So
Wow. Is this something that is done more in other parts of the country, like the Corn Belt up in
I suppose. I mean, yeah, there's been guys around here doing it with wheat, and down in Wallace County, there's been a lot of people doing it down in Wallace County. Probably just more around Goodland here in the last couple of years that you've seen them, but they've been around the country for quite a while. I know like a lot of guys, if they have a specialty kind of crop that they want to preserve the identity on, like seed wheat or that kind of stuff, they'll use those grain bags so they can hold everything in that variety in that grain bag. So it's a great system.
One more thing that would just boggle the minds of your forefathers,
Oh yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
My dad, he observes these kind of things all the time, and he can just remember back to what they had, what they were doing back then.
I think I probably said before, but my next door neighbor when I was a little kid they had homesteaded from Lucas Luray. They came out here. They literally came out here in a covered wagon, and their son ends up being a pilot for American Airlines. I always kind of think of how vast the change they saw in their lifetime.
Yeah, quickly.
And they lived they both lived about to be 100 years old. They both lived within a month of their 100th birthday. But they got to see man land on the moon. They came out here in a covered wagon kind of homesteaded and got to see a man
And
land
what
on
they've
the-
seen and
right.
what they saw in their lifetime.
So I kind of think
What are we going to see?
what
in
are we
our
going to see,
lifetime?
right? And we take everything. So I know we kind of talked about this last week. We take everything kind of so nonchalantly that, you know, of course everybody has a cell phone now. I mean,
Right.
everyone has a cell phone now. And 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, for sure.
You're right.
You didn't even hear of it.
Right.
Everybody's on the internet. Everyone's doing things on the all over the internet. 20 years ago,
That's right.
never even was a new concept.
Y2K.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, how we thought the world
world
was
was
going to
gonna
be the end of the
crash in
world.
at
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
2000. Now here we are in 2017. And
Yeah.
You know, my dad's always looking. He's getting to where he thinks he's running out of ideas to talk about the 30s and 40s on his columns, that's what he wants to really keep it at is discussions of that era.
oh, I love his columns.
So
Yep.
I'll bring up, like, one day I was sitting there and I saw a school bus go by and I said, well, okay, now he was an athlete. I said, when you were an athlete in high school, were you transported to games in area towns on a bus or a train and he had to think about it for a while. And he even sent a message to another friend and he says, we didn't have buses. The kids rode with their parents
To the game.
to the games.
But they were also playing
Real
everybody around
closer.
him, right? I mean, even,
Yeah, for the most part.
Even for Greensburg, right?
Greensburg and-
where your dad was from.
Right.
I mean, there's lots of little communities, I'm sure, or lots of little schools around there that they didn't
Yeah.
travel that far. I mean,
Right.
I'm not saying they didn't travel, but I'm just saying they didn't do the like we do the trip to Hugoton.
They,
Right.
they
Right.
you know, for state competition, they might go further.
Right.
Obviously,
No,
but-
I just meant when
Right.
they play their. One of my favorite shows was Hoosiers, and
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah.
Hoosiers when they're going down the highway, all the cars
all the cars are
going down
following.
the highway. You know.
Yes,
Anyway.
on a road trip into the game. Now, you
Yeah.
said your dad sent a message to a friend. Does
Yeah.
that mean your dad emails
Yes.
or texts, or
Yes,
what does he do?
He emails.
Does he? Good
He
for
actually,
him.
this column he writes, he emails to about 60 friends and family, in addition to the newspapers that he's in 7 or 8 newspapers.
Yeah.
That's
around the area.
fabulous.
So
That's
and they're
great.
just all everybody
And
loves
Kay
it.
has a cell phone.
He's got a cell phone.
Yeah. I mean, I thought you
An
should.
iPad.
I mean, I'm just saying that.
I know.
Everybody. Yeah. Everybody knows how to use it.
Yep. And if they don't, very soon.
And I just
it'll be-
remember. I remember when my oldest son, who's now 25, going to be 25, that it's absolutely not. You're not getting a cell phone when you're in
Yes.
grade school.
Right.
And my youngest one, heck yes, we gave him a
Yes.
cell phone.
Because
He
that's
was in
how
third grade. Because
That's how it works. I know.
Yeah.
And there's pros and cons to them, but as with everything, that's what I tell.
yep.
We were talking a little bit about your timeline of how old you are compared to where your kids are in school.
Oh, yes, we were just
And
talking about this.
I don't know if we want to go into that or not. But we ended.
We basically concluded with the thought that Jeff and I are going to be way older when our kids are in school than you were.
right. We were
Yeah.
Because you began before we did with this whole kid nonsense.
In your life.
In your
Right,
life.
And way before we did too, because we were
right.
10 and 12 when you.
Of course, you began
started
before
having
we
kids.
did. But I mean, in your life timeline, you were doing this stuff before.
I
we
do
were.
stuff
Right.
about where my parents were at.
Right.
So I will be the same age that my dad was when I graduated and I'm the youngest. So when my youngest graduates from high school, I'll be the same age my dad was when I graduated from high school.
Yes, I do. I do that kind of stuff too. I look at.
we did too, but even though they had kids about a year later than we did, so my dad was. It was 49. He was 48 when his last kid graduated.
I just
There
got to
you
remember
go.
that my parents were as in high school. I will say my parents seemed like they were a lot older than everybody else's parents. Not that
Likewise,
they-
mine too.
Yeah, yeah.
But then again,
And-
50 seemed a lot older.
That's right. That's what I mean. All of a sudden, I
Than it
realized they were in
does
their 50s
now.
and they weren't.
Now 50 is like the new 30.
Well, let's hope so.
Right?
Let's hope so.
Yeah, well.
Anyway,
I
but
can't remember 50 anymore.
But I always have to kind of remind myself that to my kids, even though I feel like I'm 20 or 30, to my kids I am
Right.
50 years old and I have gray hair.
Right.
In my mind, I am 20 years old and I have dark hair.
Right.
And I.
But that's
know.
okay. You're supposed to, be young at heart and think you're younger. And what's
know,
the
but
saying?
sometimes
You're as young as you feel, right? So you're supposed to think you're 30 inside.
So have you ever wanted to get that little
I
DNA thing?
think.
Where they tell you your actual age from your spit or your blood. You send it in, and they'll come back and tell you your actual age.
Oh, like
you know,
health-wise, how old you are?
Yeah, who wants to know that?
No, not me.
No,
Well,
me.
I just go to the.
That's never going to come back and be like, congratulations, you're 25.
That's right, really.
That's never going to happen.
They just do the blood work up at the hospital every year. Like
Well, I
we
do,
did.
but they don't tell me.
Mine came back with a lot of changes for the good this past year.
Well, I'm
Because
not
you've been
really
taking
pleased.
care of yourself,
Well, I'm not
Martin.
saying that.
Trying.
I'm saying that's the one that where they.
I understand what you're saying, but
I understand being healthy. I want to know. I don't want the one that says, "Ooh, you're 50, but really you're actually 84."
Right.
Right.
that
No.
I don't
And
know.
Nothing wrong with being 84.
I've
I've decided we were talking about aging and stuff. I've decided a long time ago, we don't have any control over that, right?
no.
We're going to
No.
we don't know.
We-
We get
we
hit by a
don't.
bus.
Oh, well, I don't mean that. I just
Well,
mean.
but I'm just saying, you
Yeah.
just got to be grateful for every day you have. That's easier said than done. Grateful every day, not every wrinkle.
Grateful. You've been on this wrinkle kick here lately,
I'm a
so
little bit on the wrinkle.
she's looking for potions for
I
wrinkles.
am.
And you found one.
So
at least.
here's the
one.
latest. Yeah. And there's going to be people listening who say, "Ah, I knew that." Okay, Preparation H, good for the bags under your eyes, apparently. Reduces the swelling.
And you must be using them. 'cause
What?
you
Not
look- you
yet,
look
but
quite
I'm
fine,
not
right?
above it.
No,
I'm not
she's
afraid.
Not using it. She's not using
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm not
So
afraid.
when are you going to start?
I'm not afraid. I might start today.
Yeah, wow.
I might come in next week and you guys will be like, man,
Yeah, wow.
what are you doing?
Tuck her up.
Look at that. She's got Preparation H under her eyes.
You're supposed to rub that in.
It's,
I'm not above anything. I'll try face.
when you get to be my age, we won't go into that.
Yeah.
But did I tell you about my 19-year thing? Did I tell you that story? The
No.
19-year story.
19-year thing. That doesn't ring a bell.
It's now it's down to 18 years. I had a couple of good buddies.
Time that you have left.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, gee.
It was.
Sorry.
I had a couple of buddies that I go out to lunch with, and I said, this was last year about my birthday. We went out to lunch, and I got to say, like when I was a kid, 20-ish, I'd look ahead and I'd think, well, I'd maybe like to make it to at least 80. Nice round number. If I could make it to 80. And so I'm sitting there talking to my friend about that. I go, oh my goodness, that's 19 years from now. And he did the same thing. Oh my goodness, what? Mm-hmm. So you think back on the last 19 years, which you can remember
Which is
vividly,
very
like
quick.
just happened.
Like 2000, right? I mean, I know it's more than that's okay. 98.
Well,
but-
98, 90.
So now you're thinking 100 sounds good.
Well, so we just call it the 19-year rule now. So when we decided, the whole moral of this is get out and do more stuff. Go have lunch more often
Right.
with your old
So you're gonna
friends.
start jogging again?
Oh, I'm trying to be active. I can't unless I get knees replaced. I don't think I can jog again.
Yeah, my next door neighbors, who I just started talking about before, that they both lived to be 100, but neither one of them wanted to live to be 100, which always amazed me.
Really?
I don't understand. I've heard people say that, oh, I don't want to live to be 100. I do.
Yeah. No, they
Well, if you've got quality of life,
If
well,
you,
now-
sure.
And also, this was a different time for them. I mean, I'll
Right.
say this, that it was, there was no one for him to talk to about it.
All your friends are gone.
Yeah, all his friends are gone. And I say, but you go down and play cards with, and I named a couple men in town that I thought were his age. And he told me, no, those are my son's age. They're not
Yeah,
my age. And boy, I
right.
never thought about that.
Wow.
Until
Yeah.
he said that. Those guys are 20 years young, 20,
Yeah,
25 years younger
right.
than he is.
well,
So,
I never
but
thought of
anyway.
that. So anyway, so
But the amazing thing is they both were very active. I mean, he mowed his
That's
lawn.
the clue.
He
That's the
lived
hint.
at home.
That's the, what am I, not clue or hint.
she-
That's the
she-
secret to,
Dyed her hair till she was 100 and some.
Yep.
I mean, never saw gray hair on her head.
Yep.
She always had, sometimes it was kind of reddish, sometimes it's kind of purple.
well, I was watching, so the movie I watched this weekend was Wyatt Earp.
Excuse me?
Because,
Oh.
Wyatt, excuse me, Earp.
I thought you took a drink of your pop there for a minute.
Because if those movies come on, I get really fascinated because I drive my kids crazy because we go to Dodge City and Garden City and we
Yeah.
go to Denver and we see Pikes Peak and all, and I get that whole thing of imagine.
That's right.
I've turned into that person.
Well,
where
I
it's
think
like
about that. I think about
when you come over that hill right
In that
before
covered
Lyman,
wagon?
you see that Pikes Peak and you're thinking, imagine what they thought.
what is that?
So Wyatt Earp was on the other night, which is Dodge City
Mm-hmm.
and Santa Fe and all this stuff. Anyway, I got to watching that, and he lived to be 80. Okay, back in that's a long life for a gunslinger.
Well, yeah.
And he lived into the 1900s.
He
too.
lived to 1929, which was the year my mom was born. That's why I remember that. And so he lived this long life, and like, how many bullets did he dodge? Literally, bullets dodge. Get
Dodge
it?
City.
Get it?
That's what I call it, Dodge City.
I know. He dodged some bullets. Anyway, 80 years old. I was shocked. I figured I'd look him up and, because that's what you do now when you watch movies.
Oh, yeah.
You Google.
Oh, yeah.
Through the entire movie.
Right.
How old's that actor? Am I older than that actor? Because she looks pretty good.
Yeah.
How old was he when he made this movie? Yeah, that's what you do. But so I Googled Wyatt Earp through the whole movie, and anyway.
So Cooper's moved in a new house.
Yes.
Out by KOA.
Yes, it looks
Way to go,
really,
Rodney.
really cool sitting out there.
And it was he used to sit on the trail
Up by Saney somewhere.
up by St. Francis. Right. So I got to looking up the Texas Ogallala Trail, or the Great Western Trail. I mean, it has many names.
The Texas Cattle Trail you're talking
Right.
about.
Old Texas Cattle Trail.
Yeah.
Or there's Trader's Trail, and there's all the trails that came through here. And I don't know. I mean, you wonder what they use for land. That's why I keep wondering is, if you're coming across the Great Plains, what are you using for landmarks to know where you're at?
Well,
I'm
it's
just
those
saying.
little metal signs that they have put up there. That says
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Texas
right.
Cattle Trail.
I mean, I realize it's kind of a ladder of rivers. That's
because everything you turn around. Yeah, they don't have
how they know where to cross that stream at
right
every time.
They
Because
just. How do they charge their phones?
that's right, really.
Because I'm
And then they
thinking,
get satellite. When they set the chuck wagon, they put
how do
the
they
satellite-
watch The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Trouble.
But seriously,
But-
folks, how did they? I mean, was Highway 27 an existing trail at one time? Is that why it
Well, that's
became
kind
a highway, or is it because Goodland, where it was plotted? And
No, I think I think the highway system is more of a factor of railroads and where they set up stations, right?
I believe also that I heard that
But Trader's Trail does kind of follow
Eighth-
Highway 27.
the 8th Street Road was the original highway route, not Highway 24.
Right. That is correct.
Kings Road or something like that. Or
I've heard.
But
of it.
see, your
Think
biggest
so.
concern naturally is you're looking stuff up. How did they know where to go?
Right.
My biggest concern is hygiene.
Yeah, well, that's true. You do kind of wonder that too.
they had
That's
little
what I wanna know.
outhouses planted along the way. That they could,
I'm just more concerned on
I just want to just general
how often do
hygiene.
they take a bath?
Like hygiene and being cold.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to be cold.
No.
I
Well,
don't want to be.
They were more
I don't want
resistant
the
to
snow
that.
and the wind to come in.
People
up
back
my
then were
prairie skirt.
they
I
were
would be
they were
cold.
used to it, so
they had no idea. They had no. That's why I keep thinking about
they didn't have air conditioning. They
when
didn't-
you're out in the middle of the country, when we're out farming and it's late at night and we're getting done, it's really dark and quiet. I mean, I know it's dark and quiet all the time, but you think, okay, this would be constant. It'd be constantly
All the
quiet,
time.
right? Where I can-
Lonely.
yes, where you can go get in your pickup and listen to the radio on your way
Right.
home, and or you
Right.
can turn on your. Okay, it would just be quiet.
Well,
And,
I can tell you,
and-
I wouldn't have followed any man if I was sitting in Boston in my house.
Which
and
my
he said,
grandmother did. My
"Let's-
great grandmother did.
Let's go. We're gonna go out west. There's gold out there. There's stuff in California. Let's go." I would have been like, "Well, you just call me when you get back."
My call
We'll
me.
see you.
Call me when you get there.
Yeah, send me a
Send
me a
picture.
note.
2 years later, when they get
Send
there,
me send me an email.
I
No,
mean, they
or-
were very. I'm not mocking people because I certainly feel like they were way
Well, I always
more
kinda think-
brave than I ever was.
I mean, I've said this on the radio before, but that's also kind of where we came from, right? I mean, that's what
Absolutely.
That's what I think. Okay,
Thank God they were that brave,
if
and
they can make it, we can make it.
That's right.
But
Well,
yeah, my great grandmother, she came out here with her first husband, and he died in Brewster, and then she couldn't get back.
Really.
He died on the train in Brewster, and
if
he
you
was stuck here.
I've talked about this before. If you really want to know precisely what it was like, at least after they got here, go check out J.B. Moore's diary at the
museum.
at the library.
Oh, library.
At the library,
Okay.
written by Homesteaded, just south of town here. I think the Purvis family lives there now, and he talks about when he first got there, and he lived on the ground. He hadn't. And then he describes building his house, and then eventually Goodland wasn't even there yet.
Wow.
And then a few years later, he's talking about making the trip to Goodland to do this and that. And So that's
It's quite fascinating.
So
Isn't it?
so along your lines there, my next door neighbors, once again, when they came out here to the homestead, one day she told me that she started dating John and Ann, what's her name? She started dating John because John had the best looking team of horses in the county.
Aww.
Isn't that funny? Not the best car. It all relates,
no.
right?
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And he wasn't necessarily the best, but this horses.
His horse, yeah, the best looking team of horses in the
Wow.
county. Yeah. That's funny. So
And then for them to see jets,
yeah.
amazing.
Yep. Anyway.
Well, we could talk about
We could. I love that
Ancestry.
stuff. I
I
love
do
that historical. You know, I went from the Royals last week to the Western this week. I watched all that Royal stuff on
I thought you were
TV.
talking about
No, I meant
Royal baseball.
No, I
And
went
then
and
thinking-
saw. No,
I
that
thought
was
you were
sad,
talking about the
No, I meant
inauguration.
Yeah.
no.
I thought you were talking-
I went from the Royals movie,
Right.
and then I've just been into this
Yeah, see, I
historical
thought you were going
stuff.
from Royals baseball
Yeah.
to the National Western stock show.
Ah.
So I thought you went from
I
Kansas
need
City
to
to
be
Denver.
more specific.
You do.
I just.
yeah.
Have you been out to Have you been out National Western? for a
I've
while?
never been there to that. Never
Really?
have. Never
Ever,
have
ever?
ever been to.
You guys used to go all the time.
We
didn't
used to go all the time when I was a youngin'
My-
kid, and we loved it. But I haven't been as an adult. No.
My dad, I'm sure he's probably been there, but we just didn't.
No
At this
reason.
time of the year, we just don't travel,
No.
and especially my immediate family. We just didn't travel.
But you
It's
guys,
a-
you guys used to go a lot.
We used to go a lot. Sure.
I'm sure your dad
High
loved
school.
it.
My dad loved it. Get a new hat. Get some boots. You know.
Get a new bolo tie.
Get a new
Yeah.
bolo tie.
Some
Look
turquoise
at the
on it.
cattle. Yeah, watch the rodeo. Sure, it's a great event. It's an amazing
I
the
talked
parade.
to the cow guy a little bit here a day or two ago about it, and they did well. I was hoping he was going to call in today, but I haven't heard from him.
Do you have the phone on?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was this button.
I did
No,
too.
that's
Anyway.
that's the phone line.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard how they did actually. So, I didn't how did the cow guy do? I knew they were pretty happy, but
I think they did
You
a.
didn't have it on, did you?
no, he can't call in. Way to go.
Yeah, it was working before.
Yeah. Well, you put the wrong
it
thing. You
worked
plugged the wrong
before.
thing in.
Darn cords. Anyway,
Well, he hasn't responded.
soon this will all be wireless, and we'll be saying, "Who needs cords?" I'm just trying to
Pretty
go
soon-
along with the
pretty
whole
soon we'll go on
progress thing.
We'll go on the World Wide Web.
We will.
The World Wide Web. We're on the World Wide Web.
Yes, we are. I don't think they call it that anymore, but we are.
They called it 20 years ago. but-
Anyway, I think the Shillings did fairly well. I better wait for him to tell us about that sometime.
Big announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when
They
is
always do well.
when is the foundation giving away their money? Was that supposed to be
Well,
last-
it was supposed to be last night
That's
at the
what I thought.
Ray game. That is going to be a really exciting night when they tell us, because I believe, I don't know any numbers and I wouldn't take away that thunder if I did.
Right.
But I think we'll all be really excited to hear that, because I think their match day was well beyond the
I
expectations
know
that they had.
They were
Was.
worried they weren't even going to give away the 10,000.
Yes, and I think they had to go look
Yeah.
for more money to match. So that's exciting. So I don't know when they'll redo that. It was supposed to be last night, but I'm
That's
sure
what I
they'll
thought. I thought it was supposed to be last night.
they'll
but,
find another day to do it. So
that says a lot about our community. And
It
the
sure
people who live
does.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. When.
and what I liked about it, I talked to Cow Guy a little bit about it, as he said, it was not just one walk of life, not just one business people or farmers or whatever. It was everybody in the community. Everybody came to give a little bit, whether it was $20 or whatever. It was everybody noticing a good thing and coming in and giving to their
Yeah.
community. So that's neat.
Yep.
And I think it'll grow. I
I
think
do
if they
too.
keep
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it will grow.
Yeah.
So
I think we're targeting, we're forming a new committee to look into refurbishing the nativity scenes and see what kind of what we can do for that, and that may be a recipient in the future. I think has been an account with the foundation for that
Yeah.
in the past.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
stay
There's-
tuned for more on that. What else is going on? We got just a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes left.
well,
Who do we play? Who do we
high
play?
school sports. The basketball kids went to Salina. They did pretty good. The girls took 4th. And the wrestlers did great in Hayes last weekend at
Right.
Tate Withington. He's heck of a wrestler, won the outstanding wrestler. I think Louis Ledesma took second. I hate to, because I don't want to leave anybody out.
Louis went to 4 overtimes, didn't he? Something like that?
Something like that. So the wrestlers are being very successful. And this weekend, well, there's a lot of basketball scheduled for this weekend, but I don't know what. I know we play Scott City Friday night here.
Here, Scott City here.
Yep. And
the JV tournament's going on, but that's at Syracuse, right?
That's at Syracuse. And then I know wrestling goes to Baldwin on Friday.
Right.
And I believe wrestling, they'll be at Baldwin Friday and Saturday. So there you go. So, yeah.
Which is a great tournament for them.
Yeah, Baldwin. And I think their JV wrestlers go somewhere this weekend. Stratton or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
looks like good traveling weather too.
In the thick of this winter sports, and
I know, but I kind of like it.
I do too.
Actually,
I'm kind of happy to be retired from it.
Well, now you're involved.
But it's going to start all over again.
Your grandson is involved.
I know. We'll start.
What are you going to do if you aren't in a gym? Come on.
Yeah.
Not
Sit
get
in your
the flu
basement.
as much.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still recuperating from your cold, you guys. Going on to week 3
Quit
now.
whining. You're fine.
Really? We all got over it.
Quit whining.
Took a month. Took a month. We all got over it.
Yeah, we're
Can't
fine.
you tell the way I sound?
Yeah. I know. It's one of the deals.
We like that.
It was the kind of cold you get the sexy voice going.
When you have a cold, you got that to look forward to.
Hey, how you doing?
You could use it as an excuse. I don't feel very good. I think I'll just stay in tonight. Thanks for the invitation anyway.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing? That sounds like
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Jimmy Fallon and his.
I know.
I know. I love
buddy
it.
do
I
that
like
over
when they do that. Anyway.
Yeah, we got 1 more minute.
And the Mavericks, I think the girls are
tearing it up.
still only lost
Yes.
one, and the boys are playing well. And anyway,
I know,
so
the
there's
boys are playing
plenty
really
to
well.
go. They are playing very well.
I mean, their
Seen them a
record maybe
couple
doesn't
times.
show it as well, but
Yeah.
And then, I should say next Wednesday, the 1st, February 1st, is a groundwater management meeting. So over at the Tech College.
February already.
Yes.
You know what I like
We are a
about
week away.
February? It's a short month.
Spelling it.
And then, yes.
This is hard.
And then it's March. And March, even though it's not spring, it sounds like it.
It does sound like spring. Well,
March sounds
mostly because it
springy.
has spring break in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Well,
and
spring
you
does start in March.
Well, yeah, but you still get most of your snow
I know.
in March. But it doesn't sound like you're going to get it.
I said it before, I said it once, I'll say it again. I love a March snow because it's gone.
Right.
You know, a November snow can be here till March.
Right.
But a March snow is not here till November. Right?
Right.
Ooh, St.
Good
Patrick's
one.
Day.
Did you just make that up?
I did.
Kind of.
That was very
I think
profound,
you just,
wasn't
it was deep.
It's not, I think I
Deep
read,
as a March snowstorm.
yeah, I think I read it on the fortune cookie somewhere. So it sounds like
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, I was going
Confucius say.
to talk some more
March snow.
about raccoons, and I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Just-
That was funny.
but we'd save that
That's
for the
good
next show.
stuff. All right.
And
You know,
anything else?
one time when
My hamsters are still in my house. Oh, you elementary teachers, you.
Oh.
Nobody called me and said, yes, please bring them over.
just show
Okay.
up with them.
Say, here,
Just take them to school.
Merry Christmas.
Here, Marshall.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And that's going to be the last word here on Martin, Jeff, and the Farm Chick. Our show's brought to you by Goodland Sonic Drive-In, Elliott's Home Furnishings, The Insurance Agency, Northwest Tech, and Eklund's First Insurance here on KLOE AM Radio, Eagle Cable Channel 10, and the World Wide Web streaming from our Facebook page, Martin, Jeff, and the Farm Chick. See you next week.